We also got a chance to talk to Taysom Hill, continuing our OTA coverage. He seems rejuvenated. Mike said he wasn't putting the words in his mouth, but that's how he was describing it. He seems rejuvenated with the new offense. And the new offense, from what we've been told, seems very excited to have him, just able to go. So what did we learn today?
It's more than just what we're seeing on the field with Taysom. I mean, we see him line up at running back. We see him line up at fullback and then shift in motion to tight end. We hear this one was fascinating to me. Michael Hodges, who's in the back of the defense, yelling out, "Taysom's lining up at running back." And it's like identifying the Mike linebacker. That's like what they can do with Taysom Hill. And there's not many people like that. I mean, we talk all the time about the exposure that Clint Kubiak had to Kyle Juszczyk and Deebo Samuel and how they were used in San Francisco. But on top of all that, I mean, just the fact that Taysom Hill is here. He doesn't always come. And I talked to him a lot about that afterward. I'm like, I mean, look, was there any trepidation or curiosity over, like, will I be marginalized this offense? And he said, yeah, you do want to be wanted, right? And then he told me that Clint Kubiak actually flew to Utah to meet with him personally. I don't think he did that with everyone on the offense. And it wasn't like Taysom was like threatening to leave demanding a trade or anything. He said he just wanted to make it clear to me that he has a real vision for me and he's going to ask me to do a lot. And he said the other thing he really respects is, he said, we're going to try everything with you and then whittle it down later. And he said everything that he's had in those conversations with him has bared out so far in these 4 weeks. So I'm just really fascinated by someone that sees him. And, we've been so frustrated over the last few years. Like, why do you have something like this special and then only use it 7-8 snaps a game? Like, maybe it'll still only be 8 touches a game. There's a lot of people on this offense to get the ball to. But just the fact that all these guys who've been coaching in the league for 20-plus years are looking at him being like, what can we do with this? I'm fascinated by it.
So am I. I want to see how it kind of shakes out. And it's just so common sense feeling, too. And that's the thing that's been the most frustrating about it, is that it just felt like – I feel like the whole Taysom thing, even from the beginning, like I just – the vision, the way it was talked about, just kind of how it all came together. Like I just feel like all of it could have been done better. And I even just think that just the way Taysom was viewed by NFL people, by and large, like people that talk about the league, like I feel like there was an unfairness done to him with the Steve Young comparisons and all this stuff. Like there's a very, very special football player there. And I think finally, like, things have like boiled away and he's kind of with people that can kind of maximize it a little bit. And I just want to see what that is. But, Taysom's career, I think, is going to end. And there's going to be an element where you look back on it and just think, man, that could have been like so much different. It could have been so much more. He could have been the most beloved player in the NFL. Like, so if it was just packaged a little bit differently. Yeah. And it was just kind of this unmet expectations and then just a plan that just never quite felt like it was all the way put together or all the way creative enough. And I don't know if that's going to get there now, but it feels like at least the process, as you're watching it, it feels like the process makes sense. And right now, that's really all you can ask for. So I'm excited to see where it goes to.
You're so right about that. It's absolutely nuts that he's a punchline to some people. I mean, how many other players around the league could be a 10-touch a game, change of pace, speed running back? Or like Rashid Shaheed gets the ball 4 times a game and people think, I love it. What a great, innovative way to use the speedy kick returner. Taysom Hill gets used 8 times a game. Why are they getting so cute? I've never understood. I've never understood.
Nah, it's actually crazy. Like, everybody puts him up as like, oh, he's just a gadget guy, somebody that doesn't really, just like a show. He's like a show, but this man gets quality snaps. He does quality. You can't have a thoroughbred in the stables with a 7 on his back and not let him run. You gotta let him go.
You should see my text every time he has a failed run. Like, all my friends, like, I have like a million time to put an end to this, and it's just like, all right, guys, like
text Twitter, everything. Like, and I've said it a million times. Like, why is the standard different for him? Like, like he averages 5.5 yards a carry. Latavius Murray comes out here and averages 3.7, and he's beloved because he has some good runs. I've never seen Latavius Murray run for 1 yard and have someone say, too cute. They all knew it was coming.
That's what I'm saying. Like, don't run him into the ground, but like, let him cook. Let him do his thing. Let him do his thing. But also today we got a chance to talk to Clancy Barone. Just don't give away everything. But what do you say about the tight end position in general and like how they're moving forward in this new offense?
Yeah, look, Clancy Barone's really interesting to me because he was new last year, so he hasn't been around forever, but he was part of the Saints' old offensive staff, and he's one of the very few holdovers on this staff because he worked with Rick Dennison and Clint Kubiak and Denver and Minnesota, and then worked with Andrew Janocko in Chicago. So he's like kind of a really interesting bridge between the two offensive coaching staffs. And I talked to him a little about Taysom, but also which I'll do more on later. About Jawan Johnson and Foster Moreau, two guys who obviously there is more for them to do in this offense. And he's said their attention to detail, the way they've studied these guys, the way they have plans for them. And everything they're going to be asked to do. I mean, you could just tell that he knows this is a good staff they got.